All right, we are recording. Hi, guys. Welcome back to the channel. So I have two of my lovely friends with me today. They are entrepreneurs, girl bosses, manifestors, I guess they would also consider themselves. I'm going to give them an opportunity to introduce themselves and tell us what they do and about their business and all that fun stuff. I have a list of questions I'm going to ask them. So yeah, I'm going to start with Ashley, since you're on top for me. You go first, and then when you finish, Jasmine, tell us what you do. So tell us your name, your brand or your company, and what inspired you to create your business to start off.
Okay, hi, I'm Ashley Williams, and I have a clothing brand called Couture-Luv, and I was inspired by Chanel. I really like Chanel, as well as just being a millennial that is very conservative but a little bit of sexy. So that's basically what inspired the company. Then I have another brand called 1028 Awakenings. It is a more spiritual based brand. It's more so about crystal and psychic readings. I wouldn't say it was psychic, I would say intuition readings, connecting with your guides and your angels. And then I have another company called Blending Cultures, which is a book and game line for my daughter. She's about 4 years old, and she basically co-manages that company with me. And then my last one is a photography company called Narcissist Photography. So I love photography. That basically ties into all of the brands. And the children's brand is more so based off of her life. So we make books as she grows with different experiences that she embarks upon. And that's basically it.
All right, Jazz, tell us about your business.
Is that
So, my name is Jasmine, and I run a vending machine business called Vend 757. And I also do what's behind me. I'm a contractor for ESL learners. So I teach English to Chinese people, Japanese people, Korean people. But I created my business because I stay at home all day and I got bored. So I pushed myself to create a business that would involve face to face contact with people. And I go around to big businesses, warehouses. I go to hospitals, nursing homes, and I play vending machines to people who like snacks. Who doesn't like to eat? They get their Doritos, their Snickers, their sodas, and I reap all the benefits.
Cool. Okay, cool. So you guys know about their businesses now. So I'm gonna go ahead and I guess jump into the question. Oh, I didn't tell you guys what I do, but you guys already know me. Hi guys, I'm Nija. I'm a YouTuber content creator. I make YouTube videos. I also have a blog, nijasim.com. I also am a life coach, so I'll have like coaching calls like this, one-on-one calls, and also group coaching calls. And we basically just talk about the things that we're doing to manifest and to create our dream life. I'm so sorry, guys. What is my phone going crazy? I'm trying to like put my phone on do not disturb so it won't bother me. But yeah, that's basically what I do. I think that's everything. Oh, and I'm starting a hair company called Pretty Powers. So I'm really like tipping my toes into kind of everything. So yeah, okay, cool. So now we've all introduced ourselves. I want to, I guess, start off with the first question. A lot of people are concerned about how much it costs to start up a business. So I want to ask you guys both individually, how much did it cost to start up your business? You can talk about all the businesses that you have, how much it costs, or just the ones that, you know, you want to mention. So yeah, whoever wants to go first can go first, but how much did it cost you to start up your business?
Let's go in order for Ashley.
Okay.
all right? So for me, let's see. Let's start with Couture-Luv, I guess. Okay, so for Couture-Luv, I want to say it maybe cost me $500 to start Couture-Luv, and that was just obtaining the EIN, obtaining the EIN with Sunbiz. At that time, I was in Fort Lauderdale, and then going down to the district, the wholesale district, and just buying all the pieces that mattered to me. I know a lot of people that are in apparel feel like, you know, you need to buy what the market is demanding you to get, but I don't really shop like that. I just buy what I like because I'm the person who has to model it. Okay, so $500 for Couture-Luv. For Blending Culture, I think my first investment to get everything up and going was just $28. That was just to make Ty's website, and then I went on Fiverr, which is a really good place to go to outsource things for really, you know, cost efficient prices. That may have been maybe like $100 just to start, but then to do the full on book may have been like $750, but it wasn't an all-in-one payment. It was sporadic payments. Narcissist photography, $0. That's one of the greatest things, okay? Because I already had a camera. I love taking photography, taking pictures, so it was very easy for me to just go ahead. That one is really good because there's really no put in, you know, except for the website, and I made sure I had a free base website. So I think that's about, Ty's book, Narcissist Photography Coach. Okay, 1028 Awakenings. So 1028 Awakenings was pretty low as well, maybe under $100. I didn't get EINs for 1028 Awakenings, but reading and doing tarot cards kind of came in later on, and that doesn't really have a lot of investment. I would say under $50, because you need to get a couple of books and then gain some form of experience before you just start, you know, reading out of a crystal ball. So that's it for me.
Nice. Okay. Jazz, how much did it cost you?
So initially, I would say for me, it costed me $6,000. But for anyone who's interested in trying or talking to me about it, you don't have to spend that much. I always say start out small and then work your way up to the bigger machine. So in actuality, my first purchase was my EIN, and that was about $300 because I wanted to make sure I had all the permits I needed. I knew all the laws. I had all the tax together, so I put that much in for it. But you can get a cheaper EIN if you want to. And then my first purchase for the business was a small gumball machine, and it cost me about $160. And I am an impulsive buyer, and when I set myself onto something, I immediately start buying everything I need. So I said I was going to start out small, but then I was like, you know what? I'm all in. So I went out and found a machine and a location, and I spent $1,500 on that. And then I added maybe $30, $60 for the food inside of it. And then I'm very fast paced. I know what I want, so I know what to say. And that's how I got up to $6,000, because I was just buying machine after machine because I was getting so many locations. So about $6,000 because you needed the machine. And then you need it to fill the machine, which is about $133. But for anyone who wants advice, start out small with the gumball machine. You can get them used for $100, $50, and make sure that you like going around and talking to people. You're basically a salesperson. So if you don't like talking to people, starting a conversation with someone, this business might not be for you. So I'd say all in all, maybe less than $400 to start out. This business behind me, all I needed was a new computer that had a high IPU processor, so I could host a lot of students on camera at once. This was about $900, maybe $1,000. Then my YouTube channel, I got a T3i DSLR camera. That was about $400, and starting a business can be very low. So that's all my expenses.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And I do want to piggyback off of what you said as it pertains to how much it cost me to start my business. Most of my businesses didn't really cost me anything at all to start. I mean, I basically had most of the tools. In regards to creating a YouTube channel, I started recording videos on my cell phone. I already had a cell phone, so I would say that was free. When it comes to starting up my coaching business, I already had my laptop. So I think the only thing that I ended up paying for in the beginning was just buying a website and then buying hosting for my website. And then I did invest in buying a theme for my website, but still that was probably less than $100 to get, even less than $50 to get the website and hosting and everything up. And you guys have tons of options on that, so it doesn't have to be expensive at all to start. When it comes to my tarot business, I already had tarot cards as just an interest and hobby of what I already did. So, and we already had the computer, already had the webcam, so that was pretty much free. So if you think about it, a lot of the businesses that I've started were free to start. When it comes to Pretty Powers, the hair company, obviously you don't have to have money up front. You can do something called drop shipping, which a lot of people are learning about and starting to do. But if you do want to have inventory on hand, it probably costs you about $300 your first investment for some hair to get started. And of course you want to get your shipping and stuff like that. I like what Jazz said also about having to get the EIN. I think Ashley talked about it too, having to get the EIN and legalizing their business. So that really is important too. I would say focus on that once you know how you're going to be making money. But in certain businesses, like in the one that Jazz has, it's really important to have that business license up front because you don't want to get shut down before you start. So here's the next question I have for you guys. When did you know that you wanted to quit your job, if you have quit your job, and work for yourself full time? So we'll start with Ashley and then we'll go to Jazz again. How did you know you wanted to quit your job and work for yourself, if that's what you did?
Okay, so for Couture-Luv, I think that was the first company I started. I was working for the government and I just decided that I didn't want to work for the government anymore, which was seriously crazy for family because I have a PhD. So it was just like, what kind of stupidness is that? That's retarded. But at the end of the day, I really did like fashion a lot, and I just decided that this is just what I wanted to do. I really had a lot of faith in it. I would say that the journey doesn't have to stop there. It can continue to go on because a lot of people feel like if you have one door, don't venture off into be multiple things, and I don't really agree with that. I started to invest my time into different things when source energy led me to do that. So don't be fearful if one thing leads you to another thing. But I think that happened in 2012, and actually I was in a committed relationship at that time, and we were both starting our brands in our companies at the same time. So I would feel like that even enhanced that jump for me, because we both were at a place where we just knew we were going to be more solid if we just took this jump. So that happened for me in 2012, and I've been doing it since 2012.
Nice. Okay. Jazz, how about you?
My story is a bit different. I consider myself still working for someone, but because I made myself into a contractor, I'm still my own kind of business owner where I don't have to rely on anyone. However, I knew that I no longer wanted a normal job when I got fired from my other job. So I was going to school for fashion merchandising, and at the company I wanted to work at, I wanted to move up. But then I started hearing from the managers, oh, if you want to move up and you want to become a manager, you want to work in the business location, the offices, and you can't travel as much as you do anymore. I was traveling like every month. And as a part-time worker, you can do that. You can get off anytime you want. And they're like, you have to take it a little bit more serious. You're going to have to work on some holidays. When a manager calls out, you have to come in on, even if it's your day off. And I was like, I don't know if this is for me. So when I got fired, a lot of people had gotten fired at the same time as me. I walked out of there with the biggest smile on my face because I'm loyal. So once I love something, I love the people, and I kind of love what I do, I won't leave. I'm headstrong. I put my foot down. I'm going to do this. I'm going to see it through. So when they fired me, I didn't have to make that decision, and it was the happiest day of my life. I mean, I was so happy. I was so relieved. I sat in my car laughing and smiling, and I was just so excited to be let go. And I came home and I immediately looked up online jobs or incomes that I could do from home, and I could spend my time working on myself in my own business and just not having to rely on someone else to make me money. So I'm now full-time for being an ESL contractor, full-time vending, full-time YouTuber, and I also invest in stocks. So all my money just comes from me being at home.
Yeah, I love that. And before I answer the question for myself, I wanted to ask both of you guys also, like, how scary was that transition from having that stable, secure source of income to kind of having to figure things out on your own and create your own income? Like, how was the process of that for you guys?
I think that
Working for the government, like, that's a big deal. Having a PhD, working for the government, making a solid amount of money, like, how did you cope with that?
I think that honestly, there's this weird kind of passion or obsession or I really don't know what it's called, but it's very powerful. And what happens is it's like you drown yourself in it. And every time you run into something where it says, oh, you can't do this, it's like you overcome this obstacle. And then you're like, oh no, I can do it. And you just buy this. And it's kind of like what she was saying when she said that, she gets into a frenzy and she just buys everything that you need. It's kind of like a blind faith of hope. I don't even know what it is, but it's stronger than you've ever imagined working for someone, because you're just going there because they're kind of like dangling a carrot in your face, like, hey, you want this money. But this, when you work for yourself, it's kind of like there's no carrot and there's no limit. The limit is just like how hard you can push yourself. So then you just kind of go into this obsession and you're just like, I want this, I want that, I want to buy clothes, I want to dress up, I want to do my makeup, I want to do a shoot. And then you have like all these visions that flood your head. Like you could see how there's no stop except you. So it's kind of like you have an amazing imagination. You have an amazing new passion. So even though there's a lot of fear and you don't know how it's going to happen, when you're in this particular zone, okay, and it's deep because it has to have a certain kind of momentum to even sustain it. Like, so if you have like a little bit of passion and then you jump out there, then you're gonna be like, oh shit, I done made the wrong decision, I need to go back to my job. But if you have it and you just know that no is just not going to be an option for you, you just kind of answer your own questions. A lot of people are like, well, how do you know what to do? You don't know what to do. You just know that don't knowing is not going to be a solution for you because you didn't know how to do any of this other stuff. And look at you now, you're an expert and you don't even know how you became one. You just was rolling down the hill. So it does have a lot of fear to it. I'm not going to say that I wasn't fearful. I'm not going to say like, if you do have this high standing education, turn your back on it. I'm just saying like, it was way doper for me to just invest in myself than it was like them dragging me for so many years. I mean, I have been working in politics since college, even before college, because you have to have an internship. I had an internship with the Senate and the House, and I just didn't want to do it. I felt like all those years was so much work, and it's like now I'm an adult. I'm gonna pick me, So sometimes, it's just like that. And I think with my parents are a foreigner. I am American. I have been working since I was 14 at a wings place, then CVS, then Limited Too. And I think just by trying my best so young to just have that stable money, it just seemed like it was time for me to retire. And I know that sounds very weird because I'm still working for myself, but it was time for me to retire the old way of working. I didn't want to do that anymore. But it is fearful. I'm not saying that fear didn't exist. I just didn't care.
Wow. Okay, Jazz, how about for you? Doing sell and then having your business.
Because I am a strong believer, I'm a little different, but also the same. Because I am so confident in myself. I mean, since I was little, I was always coming up with ways to make money. Like, I want to go shopping, I'm going to wash your car. I want to go buy some food or go to the movies with my friends. Mom, let me clean your room. Like, I always had that entrepreneur spirit, and I always knew I could make it because it had shown me when I was younger that when I want something and I go for it, it always works out. And when it doesn't work out, a better thing is right behind it. A better, more refined idea is right behind it for me to carry on and still make the money. So when I lost my job, it wasn't like, oh my God, what am I going to do? It was, yeah, God's got my back. He knew this wasn't what I wanted. He knew that there was something better out there for me. He just pushed me out there into the open water for me to just do it. So I wasn't fearful because I just had confidence. I guess my parents built that in me, and maybe it was an innate skill for myself, the power of manifestation and saying what you want, what you don't want. I just never had that fear. What I was scared about was that I chose a way to make money that I was not intelligent with. I had no prior experience to engineering. I had no prior experience to fixing things that were machines. So when I went head first into buying the machine, my afterthought was, how am I going to fix this machine? I don't know how to do anything. So I put my determination together and I looked it up. I talked to people. I looked at videos. I asked questions, and I still don't know how to fix it, but I am now learning as I go on how to do it. And you just have to learn as you go. Stop thinking that you're going to have everything you need in that moment when you do it. It's a learning experience. We are supposed to learn. We are supposed to fail, and we're supposed to get back up and learn to do it better. Don't be scared to fail. be happy that you're learning a new skill. And I've come to the point where I'm no longer scared about my machine not working, because I have a network of people that I could take a picture of it. I can film it and send it to someone who may be able to help me. And one time I spent 3 hours staring at a machine like, I don't know what's wrong. And it took me 3 hours to come to a conclusion that, okay, this is what's wrong, but I'm going to ask someone else to fix it so that I know to go back and be able to fix it like that. So I don't let fear control me. I believe in myself. So I guess that's the best way I can put it.
I love that. And I will piggyback off of what both of you guys said and say that, yeah, it is extremely uncertain. I'm a Sagittarius sun, so I feel like that kind of where people would get scared about the uncertainty of like, where's my money coming from? Where's this coming from? Where's that coming from? I'm a little bit more flexible with it. I was given the opportunity to be more flexible with it because of like the lifestyle that I live and how I live. But I do understand, like I quit my job for the last time last May. And I was fearful. I didn't want to end up back at my old job. Even though I had graduated college, had a degree, you know, I never cared to get a job in what I got my degree in. And that now that I say that, I feel like maybe college was a waste of time. Maybe it wasn't. I'm not sure. And I'm not going to tell people it was or wasn't.
Right.
I know for me, I'm in debt now. I had an amazing, incredible experience in college, but was it worth $30,000 of debt? I couldn't touch these. So yes, I do definitely understand where both of you guys are coming from. There is like a certain set of confidence that I feel like all girl boss solopreneurs, entrepreneurs kind of are born with, that I'm gonna thrive no matter what. So just tell me what I need to do to make it happen. But at the same time, yes, it is so scary not knowing where your income's gonna come from. But like you said, you learn faith. Working for yourself, we learn so much faith. We learn how to create multiple income streams, and then somehow we just get paid from them eventually. So I'm going to jump to the next question. When did you start to feel successful in your business for the first time? You decide what business. So Ashley, you start.
I think when I started, I just felt free. Like, I think that success is not a tangible amount of money. It's just feeling free. Like, it's feeling free and understanding that, like, it doesn't feel like a job anymore. Like, when I have to do my shoots, when I have to do anything for any company, it is not like, ugh, I got to do Couture-Luv, or ugh, I got to talk to the illustrator. It's never like that. It's just like, this is what I want to do. So it's I don't know, it's like always successful. There's never a time where I don't feel successful. Now, when I get new toys, okay, that does make me feel like, you know, wow, I have moved up, I have changed, you know, things have rearranged for me. But I think I always just feel successful.
What toys do you mean when you say when I get new toys?
Oh, new toys will be like a new car or a new place to live, or just, you know, things that may have been hard to obtain in the past, and they're now just coming to you, you know, in abundance. That way you can kind of see, you know, like, that's the normal way people monetize success. But for me, it's like right when the book is released, I am super happy to get back the illustration and approve it. Once the line is finally complete and I can look at the whole spread and be like, okay, this is the spring collection, that is success for me at the moment. Like, I am done, I completed it. Right when I do a photo shoot, I have this intense ambition to just instantly go home, go through all the films, edit, just do everything, because that drive is there. But that is like how I meet success every single time for me. It's like a high that I'm chasing because it's completed. When I completed Ty's first app, that was a high that I had never experienced before. You know, now working on a new app, it's not the same, but that first one was just like, this is crazy. Like, how did I complete an app? Like, this don't make no sense. You know what I mean? But those are my points of success. I think that's when I feel happy.
Yeah.
Mine's the same. I feel successful and success when I feel free. I've always said that word before, is that when people always ask me, what do you want to do in your life? Or what do you want to do when you be older? Or what do you see yourself doing? And I was like, I see myself being free and happy. And my free and happy was, I guess, to monetize it, or not to monetize it yet, is when I got my first location or when I get my next location. Like, I feel crazy amount of success because I validated myself that I am achieving something. So I feel successful. So even if it's not immediate income when I get that location, it's like I secured it. I did that. So I felt successful. And to monetize it, I have my car, but I don't consider like having a car success. I consider just knowing that I have income coming in, no matter how small it is, no matter how big it is. If I have a continuous income coming in, I'm happy because it's only up from there.
Nice. Okay. And I'm gonna say, when I first felt successful in my business, when I got my first coaching client, that made me feel incredibly successful. I think in regards to like my YouTube career, I felt most successful like when I got my first company sending me out things. I think that made me feel really successful. Shout out to Couture-Luv. And when else did I feel successful? In my tarot business, when I was able to just hop on an Instagram live and just make money like that, that feels like success to me. So it's like, yes, when the money comes in, when the checks come through, you feel successful, but also like you both said, just having that freedom to know that I wake up and I'm in control of my day. Like, we're already winning. Or I wake up and I can buy a hotel and buy a plane ticket and travel somewhere, and no one's like, you have to put in your timesheet and make sure that you can get that approved. Like, that is true success, being able to be 100% in control of your life, and not have to report like you're like in like a child forever. Like, if you think about it, regular adults are like children, how they have to report to their job and report to here, report to there, and asking for permission to go to the back. Like, that stuff is silly. And I'm so happy that the old paradigm is shifting, and that's why I really wanted to start rolling out more content about working from home and working for yourself and creating your own businesses, because that stuff is played out. Not working for other people is played out, but just not being in control of your life is so played out. And I'm happy that people are waking up to that now. So yeah. Okay. Here's our next question, you guys. What do you do to market and get the word out about your business? So how do you promote your business? How do you tell people about your business? Tell us about some marketing.
Okay, so for me, marketing, I use mailers to help me market depending on demographics, dealing with kids that have signed up for Disney or whatever the situation is. That's for blending cultures. For Couture-Luv, that's way simpler. I use Instagram, all social media outlets, Facebook, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a good thing to use for people. They sleep on LinkedIn, but it's so crazy.
Crazy things that happen for you through LinkedIn, because you actually put me on LinkedIn and how it kind of went like crazy for your business, for multiple businesses. So how did you use LinkedIn?
LinkedIn, okay, I have at least like 30,000 friends on LinkedIn, and all of these people are actually at work, because this is a social media outlet that is approved by most people to be on if they're in a remote location. And I have had at least over, I don't know, $5,000 of people donating to my company, which is just crazy. And it's just them basically seeing that me promoting the due diligence of just being active on there. It's crazy. I have gotten so much love from LinkedIn than I've ever had from Facebook. Not saying Facebook is not lucrative. All of them have a great hand in it, but I would just say don't sleep on any social media outlet, because some people just use this and some people just use that. And I think as an entrepreneur, you need to tap into as many platforms as you can, because they all give some kind of energy from different age groups and audience. Like our age group, we still have Facebook because we were kind of like brought in through college with Facebook. But the younger you are, they don't even fool with Facebook. They're on TikTok and they're on different social media outlets. So I would say use all platforms. The old school way is still good. Having a regular flyer is good. Going to events, if you do go back to college events, for fashion, for me, I really try to pay attention to my hometown homecoming and other homecomings, and those hashtags on Instagram are amazing, okay, because they have set outfits for particular occasions that just flow right in with, you know, my line and my collection. So we use the old way and the new way. I do not use the newspaper. I did come up with a catalog this year, which is some super old school. When I was a kid, we used to go through the JCPenney catalog and circle all the toys that we wanted. And that's how we would let my mom know, you know, what we wanted. So I thought it would be a really cool idea to drop a catalog this year as a mailer to send out to people. But I would say marketing is something that you need to be doing all the time. I got a sticker off of Vistaprint, posted it on the side of my car. Just don't be fearful to be a walking spokesperson for your company.
I love that.
You have to teach me about LinkedIn. I have it, but it won't allow me to say business owner up there. I need some extra help with that.
Girl, you don't get it because I already plotted on you. I'm about to pick your brain like nobody's business.
I wanted us to grab information from each other.
Yes.
So for me, I use Facebook ads to get people who have businesses who need a vending machine. And then Facebook networking. I've dragged Nija to the networking events around Virginia. And I have met one of the biggest contributors to one of the biggest vending businesses in Virginia and North Carolina. And because I became friends with him from my first networking event that he hosted from Facebook, he's been giving me all his other locations. He's like, hey, I don't have time for this. Here, why don't you, I gave him your phone number. Here's his name. Talk to him. You want to talk to him, go to him. And I've gotten so many locations because of that. My networking events really do help. You are coming in contact with other business owners who could either help you or push you to someone else. So that's really awesome. So Facebook networking events. Get out there, talk to people, get some free food, get some free publicity, because when you go to those things, you're making friends with other business owners. I don't really need Instagram for my vending business because not a lot of people are going to be up there. It's more face-to-face type of business. So I have created my own flyers, and they're very cute. They have the machines up there that I have, and I will go walking to businesses and say, hey, I have keywords that make people perk up and listen. Hey, I'm getting free vending machines. Would you like one? It's a great way to help out your employees if they don't have time to go get anything to eat. Everything's free. You don't need to do anything. I provide everything. It's just free. That is my word to get in, and people love it. They drool over free food. So I go door to door, kind of like a salesman, and it's very quick. It's very easy to be charming enough to get in there. And I haven't started cold calling, which is another advertising. It's very old school, but I think during the COVID epidemic, I'm gonna have to start getting on the game of cold calling. But I'm excited about it. It's something new to learn.
Yeah, I love that. And I like how, like, when you are a boss babe, because I'm really like trying to push this to my ladies who are like, you're stunning, you're young, you're beautiful, you know, you can still use, you know, your beauty to propel your business, right?
Yeah.
So all of us, we do photo shoots for our brands, we take pictures, we look good, you know, having a really great social presence. And even like Jasmine said, when you walk up and you look great, people are like, you are promoting your business just by looking great. Ashley tells me all the time how many people, all these men that want to pay and support the business, support the companies, buy the books, you know, probably for Jasmine, buy the vending machines or get the vending machines just because we look, you know, like beautiful young women and people want to help. So if you are a lady listening to this, you know, you have a shoe in, you have a foot in, you know, use your beauty to your advantage when it comes to breaking down those walls and getting things started. Like, people want to help a beautiful woman who wants to be an entrepreneur. Yeah. And as
Especially
far
for my business.
Yeah,
like it's a male dominated business, so if you put some makeup on and you smile, there are men who run these warehouses, and they always say, if you're gonna come fill the machine, then yes. And I'm like, okay.
To our advantage, ladies. But, yeah. So for marketing marketing and promoting for my businesses, I really did start with social media. Obviously, YouTube is a social media, so that kind of like posting videos is a great way to just be present. A lot of people don't know that in starting a YouTube channel or in starting an Instagram, you can create your own brand and basically sell yourself. So if you're putting out YouTube videos, if you're putting out Instagram content, just by being an influencer online, you can literally launch anything that you put behind you. You know, you are the face of your brand and your company. So yes, I use Instagram. I use YouTube videos. I started going to networking events like Jazz started to go to as well. And also networking with friends that are starting businesses, like having these two guys as my friends, like we always are bouncing ideas off of each other. They give me great marketing advice, promo advice. So surrounding yourself with entrepreneur-minded people is going to be really great for propelling your business as well. So here's the next question I have for you ladies. What is your end goal? Where do you want to take your business? Where do you see yourself at the end of all of your success?
Ooh. That is not a difficult question. I think that's because I have so many platforms now. I just don't know. All I know is that I'm going to be rich. And I know that's like, I know you want like a detailed response from that, but because in the beginning, I just knew I was going to be on the top, and I knew I didn't want to be like Forever 21, but I wanted to be more so like Apple and Chanel mixed in between, because Apple store is so clean cut and it's just straight and direct to the point. And Chanel is like that too. It's like heavy material, but it's of so much caliber and class. It's like, it brings some kind of elegance and some kind of integrity in your clothes. And I feel like you should have that when you wear my clothes. But now that it has just branched off to so many different things, like Ty has her own situation, and then I have mine, and then I have this spiritual thing, and the spiritual thing is like totally different from Couture-Luv, because Couture-Luv is more so like glam, and I'm just that girl. And then the spiritual thing is still, I'm just this glam girl, but I just wear crystals, and I can not wear makeup, and I can do these different things. So it's different. But I want to say this. I want to say that being a part of two platforms, one based off of just being gorgeous, and then the other one just based off having a mind. I really like the fact that we all can come together and show everyone that you can be gorgeous and still have a mind, okay? And not just like a simple mind, a mind with power and a mind with energy, that if you come with me about business, I'm going to give you business. But as a woman, it's so much fear in a dominated male world, because you're like, they're going to try to talk to you. I mean, they got to talk to us. We look good. You know what I mean? But we have to redirect that, because we're here to conduct business. And I think that is really powerful for us to do that and wield that power at such a young age, because even going through the House and the Senate, that was the scariest part, y'all. Like getting internships offered to me from these powerful men and having to feel this expectation, but making sure you still have integrity and dignity. But I don't even remember the question.
You're gonna be rich.
What was the question?
That was your answer.
Yeah, we're gonna be rich. So at the end of the day, I just think like being able to fight through all of that, I just know that I'm going to be rich. Now, when I am driving down the highway and I do look at skyrise buildings, and, I see Claire's and all these headquarters, I can see Couture-Luv headquarters, and I can see Blending Cultures headquarters. I can see my logo on the side of buildings. And I think that's really important when you do have a vision. You should always see some form at the end. I don't know how we're going to get to a million or $1 trillion company, but I know it's set in stone for me, and everything aligns with me seeing that building. Like my house aligns with that, the penthouse aligns with that. Every vision that I have all equals to that successful lifestyle in the end for me.
I love that. Okay. Ashley, I'm sorry, Jazz, where do you see yourself at the end?
This isn't the end goal for me. Vending is not like the millionaire plan. It is to have vending pay off my debt. Like, this is my plan of where I see my future. Paying off all debt and then investing the money I made into real estate and then becoming a real estate mogul. You know, I want to do tiny homes. I want to do vacation homes.
I just
I want to
probably
do
tiny home.
Airbnb.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the end goal, is to move on to greater and greater. Don't just stop there. I want to propel it. And it's not I'm going to be a millionaire in my mind. I always just say I'm going to be successful, and that success is whatever is planned for me. I always just say that I'm going to be successful. I am successful. You are successful. So I don't know what's after that, but I do know there's money in that. But my purpose is to be free. And if I always stay on that goal, then I'm going to be whatever I want to be.
This is so juicy, guys. I'm happy we're all friends. My friends are gonna be rich, and I'm gonna be rich. We're all gonna be rich together. Okay, I'll share with you guys my end goal. For me, all I know is that I really, really, really want to travel the world. That's always been a very big dream of mine, to travel the world, but not just to travel the world. I want to travel the world with my girls. I want to do retreats. We got the baby down. I want to do retreats. I want to, I just want to travel the world, but I want to invite people to come do it with me, because I really do believe that we're all meant to be free. We're all meant to live our best life. We're all meant to create our dream life. I just want to take as many ladies along on the journey with me as possible. Yeah. That's all I want. I like, if I'm gonna be rich, we're all gonna be rich. I want to share everybody how you can be rich. If I'm gonna create a business, I want everybody to create a business. I want you to figure out, not just what you want to do, because I'm so tired of the society telling us that you can only be rich being a doctor, you can only be rich being a lawyer. Like bump all of that. There are people who are not even of drinking age, and they have money just from making videos, and by doing what they love to do. Nobody told them, no, you can't make those videos, no, you can't. So I love that we live in this day and age where we can do that. To me, my biggest goal is just to be free, be financially free, have multiple streams of income, and being able to travel the world. I want to live in a beautiful place, and honestly, if all those things happen, I would be super content with life. Nice. All right, so I'm going to go to the next question. So next is, what's the hardest part about running or starting your own business? What is the hardest part? Ashley, you go first.
There wasn't a hard part for me.
That's good. Like, contrary to what people would think, tell us why you say that.
Yeah, I love social services. I really did climb all the way up the ladder, but there were a lot of holes in this system that I couldn't digest anymore. So, I love to help. My first nature is to help. I'm a helper. I'm saving them. I'm telling y'all, I'm out here saving them. Okay. So, to walk away from that was hard, because I still try to save them, but now I have one to save. So it's different for me, where I can channel that energy. But it was not hard for me to invest in myself. It was not hard for me to believe that I was it. Now, I would say in the beginning, I was not the face of my company. That was the only thing that was, maybe shameless to say today. Back then, I hired a young girl that I met at Starbucks. Her name is Sumana Sen, and she is Indian, but she looks like she could be everybody. Me, you, Caucasian. She looks everything. She blonde her hair, she turned to something else, and she was just so gorgeous. I was going through Starbucks, and at that time I used to get Starbucks. I do not drink coffee, but I felt like Starbucks in America is like, you're supposed to have this cup in your hand. So I would just go there and get hot chocolate all the time. And I would go there and I said, hey, you are really beautiful. I cannot pay you, but I can pay you in clothes. I will always order more so that you can have your own, so that you can model it when you go to school and stuff like that. And she had no clue who I was or nothing. And she was just willing to come to my house and do photo shoots. It was crazy. And I am just thankful that I bit past my fear to even, just, it's crazy. You have these dreams and you need all these other moving parts to help you. And then the universe brings them to you willingly. I mean, I would never go over somebody's house that I just met in the Starbucks line. I just wouldn't do these things, but I'm grateful that she believed in me, and she was the face for my company for many years. And then after I had my daughter, I was very fearful about starting a company. I had left Fort Lauderdale and I moved to Georgia. And I'm like, is my body going to be okay to be a part of this? Because for the first time, people were going to be judging me. People were going to be looking at me. And that at that time, starting over, then I was met with fear. I can't say that. But once people accepted me for my natural body, even after, if you have a kid, even after doing breast, it was a lot, okay? It was just a lot. And the point is, it was okay. It made me stronger. People really liked the fact that I was naturally me and it was naturally my hair. And it built my confidence back up, and it made me feel so much empowered and so strong. So even when you do have doubts, people kind of see through all of it. They have like a whole big girl movement. They out here just rocking it, and they're doing amazing, because that confidence is really what you need. So I would say, even when you're met with fear, because it is something that I have met with a lot of times, do it anyway. Ty's first book, the pictures were great. The wording, the grammatical errors, all that stuff, people, my friends, they would nitpick and say little things like, oh, it had a grammatical error in it. I didn't care. I was just happy that I made a book and it was on Amazon and it got, published. So you're always going to be met with fear. You're always going to be met with somebody putting you down, but who cares? Your first one is an enjoyment for yourself. The second one, then it's time for you to put that energy in for other people. You can grow and get better and better as you go, but fear is always going to be there for me. I just don't care about it.
Okay, Jasmine, how about you? I'll repeat the question. What's the hardest part about running your business or starting your business?
Honestly, nothing for me, because I've always believed in myself. But I'm going to guess there's two top ones for people, and that's money, and that is believing in yourself. I've just always believed, not always. When I was younger in middle school, I didn't believe in myself. But I tell myself every day that I can do it, and I just push myself to do it. You just have to push yourself. Money, what I'd say is the second most scariest and hardest thing for other people, and they use it as an excuse. If you need money to start your business, get a second job. It's okay. Just sacrifice some of your time for now, get the money, quit the job, and invest that money into what you want. So I would say I don't have personal fear, but if you do, and those are your top two, that would be my advice for you.
Okay. And I think for me, I'm going to say the hardest part about starting my business for me personally is being self-motivated, because when you are your own boss, if you want to say F it and sleep all day, you totally can. If you want to go hard all through the night working on your website or whatever, you can. For me, I'm somebody who, like, I really baby myself. I'm really gentle with myself. And when you're your own boss, sometimes you do have to be hardcore, like, no, get work done. No, focus. No, you are going to make that video today. So the hardest thing for me is when I make my blueprint, when I make my game plan of what I want to do or what I want to create, is making myself stick to it. Because I'm brilliant at making plans. I'll make the plans, I'll make the blueprints. But when it comes to execution, sometimes I leave myself hanging. So I'm going to say the hardest part for me is forcing myself to be my boss, because sometimes I just want to be my friend, and I'm like, it's okay to watch Netflix, it's okay, to just, but when you're your own boss, you got to be on everything. You have to be on everything. Like, if you don't work, you don't get paid. And I think that was the hardest part for me, making that transition to, oh, I'm gonna get paid because I'm on the clock anyway, to you don't get paid if you don't put in work. So yeah. That was the big. All right, you guys, we are here on part 2 of our Boss Babe. We have Kate with us now. So Kate is going to tell us about her business, and then I'll keep asking you guys the questions. So Kate, we want to know your name, the name of your brand or company. If you have multiple ones, you can shout them all out, and then just tell us what inspired you to create your business.
Okay, my name is Caitlin McIver. I have to think of like exactly the different things that I have as far as businesses. I do have a children's accessory line, Lulu Lee. I also have, I also teach from home. So that's one of my main businesses as well, tutoring English online from home. And also tarot readings. Yeah, tarot readings I'm jumping into. I mean, I've done it on my own for a long time. So I'm just wanting to branch out with that as well. So I wanted to check that off and add that to the list. So that is where that's where I am as far as my businesses.
Cool, yay! And then just to catch you up, because we have a few people who kind of dip and dabble in what you do as well. So, Jasmine actually does online tutoring as well. So you guys both have that in common. And then you and Ashley and we all three of us do tarot readings. So that's what we have in common as well.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So now we have like a little mix of everyone. We have 2 e-commerce stores with Ashley and Kate. We have a vending machine business. We've got tarot readers. We've got online coaches. We've got it all.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into the next question that I have for you guys. I guess the order will be Ashley, Jasmine, and then Kate. You'll give us your answer as well. So the next question I have for you guys is, actually, let me ask you this question first, Kate, because they just answered this question. What is the hardest part about running or starting your business?
Well, I mean, I guess that would definitely change for each individual, right? But I would have to say, when it comes to my downfall, or you said difficulties within running the business, right?
What's the hardest part for you?
The hardest part for me is the hardest part, and the most amazing part, is being a mom, because I am always on hands with being a mom. I mean, I spoke to Ashley about this, and you know for sure, but yes, my hardest part is staying focused within my task, keeping, once you have that to-do list, knowing everything that you need to do in order to, progress within or the next step that you need to take, because there's always a next step, right? So with that, it's trying to stay focused on my projects and not veer off into mommy land.
Yes, I love that. Ashley, can you piggyback off of that for all of our viewers at home who are lady entrepreneurs who have babies too? Like, what advice, I don't want to ask both of you, what advice do you guys have to keep, running your business, but also have your mommy hat on too? How do you guys do that? How do you juggle that?
For me, I don't know. I mean, hats off to the moms in the units and the families, okay? Because you guys don't get, me time, so it's really different, my perspective on it. But for me, that's why I created Blending Cultures, because she needs to understand that this is the time she has to shoot. This is the time that we're going to work on the book. This is the time where she has to get in this go mode. So I include her into being a boss. And that is really the reason why Blending Culture was made. So I really understand why you made an accessory company, because it will still impact her. She can, she's beautiful. You can still market, and she can still have a good time, and knowing that she's creating her own brand and being her own boss. But the mommy job is a difficult situation. You know what I mean? It can easily get, thrown off. We could be doing a shoot, next thing you know, apple juice is everywhere, and now the shoot is over. You know what I'm saying? So I understand, but I co-parent, so it's a lot smoother for me, because when she's home, it's Blending Cultures time and it's mommy time, and then when she's gone, it's Couture-Luv-INC 1028 time. So it's just a little different for me. But I really understand what she's saying, and I understand when you're really an active mom, you really do activities with your kid, it's totally different than when you're like a peace out mom, so.
Right? Okay, that's definitely where I'm at right there, because but as she gets older, I know that, my problems will then venture off to other issues within the business. As she gets older, I'll be focusing less on, being so much with her and everything.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'll go ahead and jump into our next question then. What are the first 3 steps that you took to start your business? So I know we have like a bunch of different businesses rattling around. So I guess you can either pick one business, the first 3 steps of one business, or your favorite business. It's hard to say like what's your favorite business and what's the first 3 steps, but tell us, what are the first 3 steps that you took to start your business? We'll start with Ashley, and then go to Jasmine, Kate, and then I'll swing around.
Okay, great.
All right, so I'll do Couture-Luv, the second launch. The first 3 steps that I took to launch the business was,
somebody was like, hey, I want to start a business, but I don't know where to start. What were the first 3 steps that you took for yours?
Oh, okay, like that. Like I was saying, there's just this energy. I don't really understand or don't know really how to pinpoint what I'm saying when I say it. It's just something that you will know if you're an entrepreneur. You'll just get this jitter, okay? And this jitter is just like, I got to do it. I'm going to find a solution. I got to get it going. So for me with Couture-Luv, it was like, I need this EIN. This is how I can get in the stores and pick the products. And a lot of people will be like, well, how do you know where to get the store? How do you know where to look for it? I just typed in wholesale on Google and found out there was a whole district in California. And then I booked a plane ticket and I flew to California to buy my things. I also did wholesales in Miami, and Miami has a district. It's crazy because people think like Atlanta is iconic for like fashion and we just so fly, but at the same time, there's no really good district for wholesaling here. So when I knew that it was just right down the street in Miami, I got the ID, I went and I just bought it. Before that, like let's say if you don't have that EIN and you just kind of want to go ahead and do it, they do have days in Miami if you're close to that location where you can just go in as a regular person and they'll still sell to you on particular days. But it's just doing whatever you need to do to get your product and then figuring out how you need to market your product to your audience. So.
Okay, cool. So Jasmine, what are the first 3 steps for your business? How did you start?
I was gonna say EIN, but I did quite a bit of research before I stepped into this. So I went on YouTube and I discovered people who were doing it. And shout out to my YouTube channel. I teach you how to do it as well. If you want to see me come from the bottom to where I am right now, I record everything, the ups, the downs, the hards, the bads, the no money sometimes. And I found people who were doing it. I learned from them. Then I went on Google and I searched up other people who were doing it, who wrote blogs about it. Then I got my EIN after I felt comfortable. And then I took the knowledge from what I learned online and I found my first machine, got my money, and I immediately went out and I purchased it. You can also purchase online. So actually my first small gumball machine was online. And then I went out on Craigslist, found someone who was selling a used machine that I had researched, and then I went out and bought it. That's the first 3 steps.
Okay, cool. And Kate, what were the first 3 steps in starting your business?
Well, I would have to say each of you have kind of touched on exactly, you know, within the EIN and having that calling to create something, having that calling, knowing that you're ready to step out and create your business. But I would have to say with each of my businesses, I feel like the first step was finding out, it was like a problem solver, I want to say. Like I had a problem and the answer was what my business was. So, okay, for example, with tutoring, I was actually a teacher in school or teaching online. I was actually working with students in school within a corporation, you know, and then once I left Russia, because I was teaching in Russia, right? So once I came back to the States, the problem is now, wait, you can't teach, you know, within the school. So the answer was to create my own avenue for me to teach online, right? So then when it comes to Lululee, I remember being a mom and
For you.
I remember being a mom and nursing, and I didn't have clothes for nursing her. And that was my first idea for Lululee. I said, you know what, they should have cuter outfits for us, you know, and the answer was, you know what, I'm going to sit here while I'm in bed feeding her. I'm about to find my EIN number. I'm about to do all of this stuff to create this brand. So for me, it was answering a problem.
And I feel like a lot of people, if they're not starting there, they should consider starting there because like you said, if there's a problem, then there is a bunch of people who might share that problem, who are willing to invest money to, you know, solve that problem, not only for themselves, but are you guys still here with me?
Yeah.
Sorry, my computer was like, nope.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, and you just start by answering the problem or fulfilling the problem. If there is a problem in your life, you know, you can solve it for yourself, but also for other people and monetize off of solving the problem. For me, the first 3 steps, I'm gonna zero in on coaching and then tarot reading. The first 3 steps were pretty simple because there's not really any upfront costs when it comes to coaching besides having a website. So the first 3 things that I did was, one, I researched a lot on YouTube, how to be a successful coach, you know, because there is a lot of skills that like coaches need to have. You know, everybody just can't say, okay, I'm going to be a coach, and then like you're a terrible listener or you're a terrible, you know, you have to, you know. So I did pride myself in like saying I do want to educate myself on my craft. So like what most of you guys did, you started by educating yourself on your craft. I made my website, and then the next thing that I did was I started promoting it. I just started making videos talking about it, and I started making Instagram posts talking about it. So it was 100% free to start that up, besides having the website. When it comes to like starting up a tarot business, I was actually both with Kate and with Ashley in starting both of these endeavors, with Ashley starting it online via Instagram and with Kate starting it in person. We just so happened to be at the right place at the right time, and people wanted to start buying tarot readings from us. So in both cases, they were free. Those were the first 3 steps of both of those businesses. For the tarot business, we just had tarot cards. We walked into a restaurant. We were doing readings. People saw us doing readings and they wanted in. No upfront cost at all for us. Eventually, obviously, you guys do want to legitimize your business, get your EINs for everything like that. But to start, people think that it costs all this money, all this time, but really you can, for some things, just start. And I think that's a really big message I wanted to share with people who want to start their business. Just start however you can, whenever you can. Okay, so here's the next question for you ladies. How did you come up with the name for your brand?
Oh, no.
Okay, so Couture-Luv, that was something mixed up with loving Chanel and just loving things of very thick fabric and love. I have an obsession with love. I just always try to give love. I'm a hugger. When I met you, I hugged you. I don't know, I have a problem with hugging. That was very easy. Couture-Luv was easy. Blending culture, I was pregnant with Ty, and I had a super crazy heavy obsession with this name, Blending Cultures, and seeing her, like I had this vision that she was 4 or 5 in Walmart, and she was just walking around saying how she made all of these different games and books and stuff. So it was crazy. That one was definitely had something to do with angels or something like that. 1028 Awakenings was very easy because my birthday is October 28th and I had an awakening. Like, I don't know what was going on, but I woke up and it was very easy, and it led me into just being a part of crystals and helping people. 1028 was the most easiest one that I can come up with. Narcissist photography was easy too, because I'm very vain. Before I was like, you know, I was very like, I loved myself a lot, and I was like, why not be the love of the muse, you know what I mean? So I could take your picture and just make this all about you as well. So titles weren't very hard for me in branding myself, because all of the titles have something to do with myself. So yeah, that was easy.
Jazz, how'd you come up with your names?
Well, first off, shout out to the other Scorpio in the group. So let's start off with the YouTube channel. Let's jazz it up. It's a common term for jazz it up. Oh, jazz up your outfit. So I was like, okay, that's cute. I'm doing fashion. I started out doing fashion. So I took that name, and it's everything across platforms for me, and I love it still. So that one was easy. However, my business for vending is when I have a fire that's lit, I think about the incidentals later. I don't care about the name. I don't care about where the money's coming from. I just need to create the business and start the income. So I was like, I'm in Virginia. I'm vending. Vend 757. Next. You know, the next button you push on LegalZoom where you're like, okay, let's go to the next step. So it's something quick, and I let it go. And I mean, the name's fine. I'm not like crazy about it, but it's cool. So that's how I came up with it.
Okay, and Kate, how did you come up with the name of your business?
Well, with Lulu Lee, I used my daughter's name. Well, I kind of just put a swing on it. Her middle name is Lubov, which is my husband's mom's name. So I thought Lubov, I just put a swing on it. I just did Lulu Lee. And then I found out that there's actually a Lulu Lee, like kids clothes, kids scooters and different things like that. And I was like, wow, why did that name kind of pop up for me as far as kids I never thought that it would have to do anything with kids, but it does. And I feel like finding the name is a journey within itself. Like once you have to, you have to make sure that nobody else has the name, and it's like this entire like journey within itself. So I just used my child's name. It wasn't anything special.
Cool. And sometimes using like familiar things or what you know is the best way to kind of like, tie it together and make it make sense for you. For me, Nija Sim, my first name is Nija. People actually think my name is Nija Sim. Like I think when Ashley and I first met, I think she thought my real last name was Sim. But my last name is actually Huffin. But
I actually never. I actually thought the exact same thing. I'm sorry. Is that not a thing?
I don't know if Jasmine knew. We went to college together, so she probably saw my name written on papers a few times. But yeah, I got Sim because my middle name is Symphony. I actually have two middle names. But one of my Symphony. So I actually didn't come up with Nija Sim. One of my old girlfriends at the time was like, "Well, we like how how they're." YouTubers have like short, sweet, and to the point names like Jen M or just short, sweet, and to the point. So she was like, "Well, why not Nija Sim?" And I'm like, I love that. So that's where Nija Sim came from. And I also wanted to give this advice, and maybe you guys can give your own advice on this too, the importance of not letting your name stop you from progressing. Because when I started my other company, Pretty Powers, I knew I wanted a beauty company. I knew I wanted to sell hair, but for almost a month, I never started because I couldn't come up with a name. And I feel like that's a very poor reason not to start because, eventually if you wanted to, you could change your name. I mean, granted, if you buy your EIN and everything like that, some things are cemented. But if you, kind of sit on it for a little bit and let people kind of gain exposure on your name a little bit. I mean, like something like Nija Sim, no one's ever going to take Nija Sim because their name's not Nija. Their name's not Nija. It doesn't make sense.
Their name's not Nija.
Unless they did. Who knows? But you know what I mean? So what advice do you guys have for, and anybody can jump in on this one, what advice do you have for like, should a name stop you from progressing, or do you think it's not as important? Like, what advice would you guys give to people who haven't started because of their name?
I would say just do it. I'm with her on that. The name shouldn't stop you. There's an energy that comes behind it, like she said earlier about having a problem. You don't care. You just want to solve the problem, and you want to make sure that this problem is not, you just want to make sure that the answer to the problem is solved, and then you'll get it out there, because nobody cares about the Snuggie. We just want to make sure we're warm and we can still put your hand in the bowl with the popcorn. You get what I'm saying? It just, the Snuggie, it wasn't going to stop it. It was called the blanket part 1 or the blanket forward. It's just, it's what it's going to solve. What's the solution that it's going to give me?
That's true. Anybody else want to jump in on that?
I would have to say, if a name is going to stop you from moving forward, I mean, there's so many issues that can be wrong with the name, whether it be copyright or whether it be you just can't think of a name, is different. But if that is the problem, I would say take a second look at your reasoning behind wanting to move forward with it. Let's start from point 1 now, because there's no way in the world that an actual name should be able to stop you from moving forward. Just touch back what Jasmine was saying. She just went right through the line. 757. Okay, let's see what we can add to make it, different. Whatever it is, make it happen.
Right. By any means necessary. Okay, guys. So here's the next question I have for you guys. Let's see. We're gonna flip. Okay. How much was your first sale? So like when you made your first initial sale, how much was it for? And how did you get your first client? So if you don't want to answer how much was your first sale for, you can say, how did you get your first client? Or what did you do to kind of, reel in customers, I guess, for whichever business you choose to say. So let's start with Ashley.
For Couture-Luv, I had made the site. I had been working on the site. The site was just up for people that were my friends, and I would send you the link to just say, like, how did it look? But it was live. I did put it live, and I remember the name. I remember her name and where she lived. and what she ordered. The sale was for $22, and I just thought it was a sign from God because I hadn't even launched the store yet. The store web address was only to like my mom and my sister. So she had to have Googled this particular object, and back then I was really good at the tags that had to be on it. And she ordered a spike silver bracelet. I mean, this was something that was so dangerous and hazardous. I remember when I bought it, I kept saying how probably no one was going to do it, but she was like a punk girl, and it was a silver band and it had spikes. And I know she was like, girl, like, what's the problem? But I was so ecstatic. Like, I gave her a free bracelet and a free shirt, and I just told her how like this was just guided from God because no one even knows the site. And she just was like, girl, just send me my bracelet. But it was a really great experience. I was so happy. And I guess the reason why I'm like so happy right now is because the other day I've been doing tarot readings and stuff for people just online live. But 2 days ago, I sent it to Niger. Someone actually booked me on my website. And it's funny because I think sometimes when people are your close friends, they're just like, hey, can you just throw me this dress? I'm about to come over there and pick it up. But there's power in like doing it the right way, and your phone alerting you saying, hey, you got a sale, or hey, you got this money coming in. It's so much excitement in that. And I think, like, you know, with your friends, they're just like, well, you own it, so can you just give it to me? Like, why do I got to go online? Like, it's just whatever. But when she booked it online, she was from the UK, and I thought that was even more cooler because I'm like, wow, my voice is going overseas, and it was just crazy. But that booking was for $33, and I just want to say that it's a lot of excitement for your first time. You always remember that first time, and I think that's what kind of keeps you going to get that high or get that cha-ching sound the second time and the third time. It's not as powerful as the first time, but when it's coming in, you like, yeah, it's like the Cash App sign. Yay, I got some cash, you know? So that was mine, and it was fun, and I still love all of my first experiences to this day.
Cool.
So mine is a lot less money. So I have a cluster of things to make money. When you're doing vending machines, if I say, oh yeah, I sold a Snickers for $1.25, you're gonna be like, $1.
Right.
Yes. It's a cluster of things with the amount of people who work at that place is how you make your money. So if you have 100 people who work there and you have about 30 people buying from the machine, it's pretty good. So I do monthly updates on my YouTube channel. You can actually see me going to my sites and pulling out my cash for the very first time. I was so excited. And I have all my videos up. I don't hide anything from anyone. This is how much you're going to make. This is how much I'm making. This is how much you could make. This is why this place is slow. This is why this place isn't making any money. So my first pool, I have 3 big machines. One of them is really bad. I'm very honest about it. And then I have small gumball machines that I call passive income. And my first pool was about almost $300. And that's when I had just first started my first month. So it's exhilarating. So that was my first amount. If you want to watch it, I can send you guys my link. I'm so excited in that video.
Definitely put it in the description too. I'm going to put everybody's websites and URLs and everything in the description so people can keep up with you guys. Kate, tell us about your first sale. How was it?
Well, I would have to, when it comes to Lululemon, the children's accessories brand, my first sales were definitely family and friends. It was nothing super exciting.
Count though.
They count. Oh, that money count. Yes, it does. That counts. But when it comes to tutoring, I think that my first, when I say sale, I mean my students, I still work with them today. So my sales can happen, you know, whenever they book more sessions with me. But my first sale with them, or my first student that I worked with, she's a sweetheart. We still work together. I still work with all my students who I work with on the daily. So the first time I can't say when the first time working with them was, because when I first started at the school was when I met all my students. So then it was just it was like I had an avenue to express myself, because it was also drama and theater that I was working with them, drama and theater in English. So it was crazy for me because everything was brand new. You know, everything that I was doing was kind of brand new when it comes to like creating a Christmas play for them and all the plays that we did. and all this, everything was just so new. But the money for me, I don't know. I don't really remember how that really felt, because I feel like so much more of it, I was so nervous on the actual act of it that I don't really feel like I connected it to the money. Does that make sense?
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, I just didn't connect it really with money because, and I still don't. I just get so much excitement from each time just working with them. So just seeing their progress.
Okay, nice. And I can definitely relate to you with what you said about just like the feeling of nervousness when you first started.
Oh my gosh.
For me, like when I first started my coaching, I was excited finally to be made like $100 an hour. Like that's pretty exciting. Like when you used to make $9 an hour and then you can start making $100 an hour, it's like I'm never going back. But like you said, like when I did my first coaching call, I was very nervous. I had like the nervous poops, like you know, like when you feel like your stomach is like, ugh. Like I was so excited to be on this call with her, but I was like, you know, like in panic mode, like, what am I going to teach her? What is she coming to me for? Is she sure that she chose the right person? You know, like she had found me from my YouTube channel. So obviously, you know, she knew what I could offer her. But like in coaching, sometimes it's like, I don't know what I can offer. I'm just going to be here. I'm just going to support them. I'm just, you know, I'm going to hear what they have to say. So that's how my first one was. Nervousness is the word that I could describe it. And even like with tarot reading, like sometimes you don't know if people are going to like the message that you're going to give, and sometimes you don't know if they're going to resonate with them. So nervousness totally makes sense. What advice do you guys have for people who are afraid to put their name out there or get their business out there, or are afraid to try and make their first sale? What advice do you guys have in any order?
Don't start.
Don't start.
Yeah, because honestly, if you can't do that, you're not gonna be successful. You gotta be able to be your own cheerleader. You gotta be able to be your biggest fan. If you can't do that, you're already defeated. You know what I mean? You have to, when you sign up for a job, they tell you to go to a picnic, you go. They tell you to wear a t-shirt, you go. They wear you to pass out pens and mugs, you do it. You have to now be that person to go wear that t-shirt, pass out those mugs. You have to do that. You cannot not sell yourself. You got to sell yourself. You got to move past the fear of not being social. You got to move past the fear of someone thinking that because you have a certain kind of education, you can't speak to them. It doesn't matter. We all speak English. You know what I mean? You just got to move past those fears and go talk to somebody.
Okay. Anybody else want to hop in and like, you know, give advice on fear of, I guess, your first sale or fear of putting your business out there?
You got to put your business out there.
In yourself, and there's nobody on earth that can make you believe in yourself. It comes from within. I can't make you do that.
Yeah, I would have to say that even I find that within myself, you know, I have dealt with this, and I've spoken to Nyjah about this numerous times for different brands, you know, because as I said, we do have multiple avenues of bringing in income, and whenever you decide to venture on into a new business, or you have this calling, you have this new idea, it's like it can be like a baby, right? You're still not sure. So in the beginning, like she said, don't start yet. If you feel that way and you're not ready, don't do it. If you're not ready, I would say do not put yourself out there if you are not ready to be 100%, like you said, out there selling cups and putting on t-shirts and stuff like that. If you're not ready for that, don't do it. It's okay. It's not a huge like end all. You will have different ideas. Different things will come. Abundance is inevitable. So when you if one thing doesn't work out, another one will.
Definitely. Yes. I definitely agree with that. And also we have to believe in divine timing. Like you're going to launch at the right time. You're going to receive the customers at the right time. You're going to, you know, do everything in the right timing. So I love that. Okay, I have a few more questions for you guys before I let you go. The next thing I want to ask you guys, and it is pertaining to, actually, let's start with this one first, and then we'll talk about like quarantine and how we're still making money in the that we're in right now. Because I think that a lot of people are curious, like, how are you guys making money right now? So we're gonna touch on that. But first, I want to ask you guys, how important is it to you to have multiple streams of income? How important is it for you to diversify your income when it comes to your businesses and having multiple business endeavors or multiple ways that you make money? We'll start with Ashley. How important is it to you?
I think that it is important to me, but I also think that it's fun for me. When I conquer something and then conquer a new thing, it's a high, and I guess I'm just chasing that high. The first time I made Ty's book, it was amazing. I was like, oh my gosh, like I made a book, this is crazy. And then it just went away, you know, like now I'm like 8 books in, and now I'm doing workbooks, now I'm doing puzzles, now she has an app. So at this point, the app was the next big high that I had. I don't know what my next one is. Oh, the game was a high too. But I don't know, I guess, I don't know how to really say the question again. I keep doing that.
I just says, how important is it for you to have multiple streams of income, which you do?
I mean,
you have like 4 different businesses.
I know. Okay, this is what I'll say too. All of those businesses have different peaks in different seasons. And that is the main reason why I like having my hands in multiple things. When the sun comes out, everybody wants a family portrait. Everybody wants to take prom. Everybody wants to do all of these things. So there's just like money coming in at that particular time. When there's summer out, everybody wants to take their clothes off. They want to look cute. They want to go on trips. You know, Couture-Luv is doing really well. And, I'm sorry. And then they all have its peaks. So I really like the fact that 1028 Awakenings is like all the time. It's like I can find someone who has a problem. I can do tarot at all times. And it's also a two-way street for me when it comes to 1028 Awakenings, because I can pour into people. They can pour into me. Sometimes I'm lost and I'm doing a reading and I find myself within doing a consultation reading for someone. So I think it's very, very important. I don't think you should be fearful of the amount. Why I say that is because like Nija taught me that I should get some form of revenue of people just coming to my site. I had no clue that you could get paid for people just coming to my website. And for so long building this brand, I learned that, and it could just be like 10 cents, 5 cents, and they're running ads on there. But all of this stuff matters. Getting the ad on the page or clicking on it, all of it is like a little bit of money. And I feel like just like when we go to pay our light bill or whatever bill, there's always like some kind of convenience fee of $2 or $6 or 60 cents. Those 60 cents add up. If you got 6 million people giving you 60 cents, girl, you're well on your way. So I feel like all of that stuff and knowing those key things, which you would learn from having a mastermind group like this, helps, because I didn't know you had to, you know, I could get money from people just visiting my website. So that will be my answer.
Yes. How important is it for you to have multiple streams? You can even tell us what your multiple streams are. Tell us about your money.
So I feel like I want more multiple streams, but I believe in, you know, the timeline. So I'm not stressed about the timeline because I know I have a timeline. So it's going to happen. The only thing is that when you talk to millionaires, you talk to billionaires, do they ever just do one thing? No, they are invested in something. Sally, Jim, Bob, Billy Joe down the street, they're invested in them. Then they have their main business, and then they have their stocks, and then they have their real estate business. They have their hands in everything. And I'm not saying you need to have multiple income right now when you start your business. Start with your first. When you feel comfortable with that and you find another one, invest in that. It doesn't have to be $100. It doesn't have to be $1,000. It can be $10, $6. When I started investing in stocks, I put in $100 my first go around, and it just built from there. So it's important to have it, because when one thing fails, like during Rona, then you have something else to fall back on. And that's why you want multiple screens. You don't want your eggs in just one basket, because you might trip, fall, and crack all your eggs. So make sure you have a lot of them out there, because you don't want to rely on just one thing. That's just like relying on your 9 to 5. Now you're trapped with that. You have to make that work. When, as opposed, if you have a lot, you have your hands in everything.
Yeah, definitely. Kate, do you want to add in how you feel about having multiple streams of income?
Well, yeah, I definitely agree with both of the ladies that having different streams of income is so important for all of those reasons. When one of them fails, of course, you have other things to kind of lean back on. And I had I come from a background who my family definitely did not instill that in me, having different streams of income or even being a business owner, period. My family, my father worked at the shipyard. My mom, she was she worked inside of an office building. So these are very 9 to 5. They did not think outside of that box. So I definitely started to realized that, I would say, when I was modeling in New York, because that was a business within itself. But for so long, I started understanding that I needed different I needed different forms of modeling. I'm not just going to wait here for my agency to keep calling me. Now I'm going to contact this person, that person. We're going to do different things. So I feel like that's where I really started to understand the importance of having different forms. And then once I had my daughter, and with my husband, he definitely taught me the importance of having different ways of making money. But I just want to say to the other women who are going to be listening to this, if you are working a 9 to 5, or if you are working something that is not so much on the entrepreneurial side, there's so many ways in taking that money that you make and investing it in different ways, because there's different ways to invest, right? Creating a business is one way to invest, but there's also stocks and different things like that. But once you have that idea of whatever your 9 to 5 is, whatever money you make, that money has to go towards making more money, period. So whether that be different businesses or whatever the case is, whatever forms that is, make sure you are doing something to create more.
Definitely. I'm finding that's extremely important, because our money is supposed to make more money for us. People don't become millionaires by working their 9 to 5. They take that money and they implant it in their stocks and in real estate and in, businesses and whatever it is that people want to do. They mix it all together. So I find that's extremely important. And that's something that I learned when I started working for myself. I don't want my income to just come from one place, because some days I don't want to do tarot readings, and I'm not going to give a good reading if I don't want to read, and I'm still forced to read because it's my only income. Just like coaching, sometimes I'm not gonna want to coach, and if that's the only thing that I have to offer, I'm not getting paid that day. So I really find it's extremely important to diversify your income in different ways. So I have just 3 more questions for you, ladies.
Really, really quickly to that, though.
Yeah, definitely.
I do want to say too, there is a big misconception when it comes to entrepreneurship and having your own businesses. The huge misconception is that you're going to be able, and granted there are situations, but you're not going to always be on a beach in the middle having a drink in your hand and working. Like, entrepreneurship is work, okay? This is not like, just today I had tutoring classes right before I had this class, and I didn't feel like jumping on that tutoring class, but guess what? I had to be there, So I have to be there. I have to show up. I have to do my best because I believe in my student as well, and I want her to believe in me. So it's not always going to be champagne and rainbows around entrepreneurship. It's just not. But I do feel like that is a big misconception. As far as Instagram, there's so many people, influencers on Instagram that only show the positive sides, and it's like, no, please show, and it's difficult. I mean, I can't, I have to say that to myself as well. It is hard to show that side of it, but it is real.
Definitely. There's a lot of fakeness on the internet that would make you think that if you were to become an influencer, it's coconuts.
It would always look like that. Yeah.
Exactly. But it's not always like that. Okay, I want to ask you guys, how are you maintaining your businesses during quarantine? Are you still able to make money from how you make your money? Tell us about how what's going on in the world is affecting your business, if it's affecting your business, and what advice you would have for people who are being affected. How can they, Yeah, so Ashley, you go first.
Okay, so business is being affected. There's so many. Okay, so
if it's not, then
Yeah, Couture-Luv is doing pretty okay. All right. So I will say we're doing okay. Blending Cultures is doing a lot better because Blending Cultures has workbooks. Everybody has to be a stay-at-home mom right now. So I'm really pushing for more products to come out for Blending Cultures because people have to entertain their kids. Okay. Couture-Luv, I really don't have a lot of issues with Couture-Luv right now, and that's just because I did launch a semi line. When some things come in from California, I'm going to shoot again. I really think it's a really good opportunity that Couture-Luv is happening at this point because we can still leave our houses. So I can go on a shoot and just do one in the middle of the road, and I ain't got to worry about nobody hitting me with a car. You get what I'm saying? So I can go out there and shoot. So that part I like about it. As far as photography goes, I had a couple of gigs lined up for photography. You know, it's just a little here and there, hit or miss with that, because some people are like, oh my gosh, a mask. And some people are like, let's just get them out the way because, you know, graduation is not going to happen. I just want to get this stuff out here. 1028 Awakening is doing great. Okay. Every day I'm live. I'm meeting new people all over the world. I'm able to talk to them. I'm actually recording this too on Facebook. So I'm trying to like move my phone out of the way. I'm actually doing very well with 1028 Awakenings right now. A lot of people feel very lost and stuff. So I feel like it's one of my jobs as a light worker and just somebody who wants to give out positive energy to lift people's spirits and do different kinds of readings and just talk about what's going on. Like, I think everyone is just like, what the hell is going on? You know, we're going into 2 months of quarantine and all of us have this itch to just run the hell away, like leave every damn body. We're not bringing no prisoners, okay? So I think right now is a good time for people who are not entrepreneurs and, you know, they're not working at their home to just sit down and figure out what they like to do. What could you do right now that if you didn't get paid for it, you will still do it with that same tenacity, with that same energy? And for me, it's still Couture-Luv. I don't care there's a quarantine going on. I will still go out there and do shoots. I will still be in here writing up books. We just did a meditation book. She's never done a meditation book before, but I want to teach kids how to do meditation. So we're working on that line right now. Photography, same thing. The days are crazy. I wish we were locked down in the winter because we would take this so much easier. Every day the sun come out, you're like, can I just get a drink? You know? So the quarantine is what it is, but at this particular time, I really feel like if you're not an entrepreneur, this is the time to figure out what you want to do. If you are an entrepreneur, this is the time to really buckle down, get some flyers out, get this extra time to just build yourself up. You could be programming people right now. Everybody and their mama is on TikTok, Facebook, social media. Every time they wake up, they're just waiting for some new information. Why not post your post? You know, why not be going as hard as you can right now to bring in the customers, because everybody's paying attention. They have nothing else better to do. So that's my answer on that.
Jasmine, how is it affecting your business, if it is, and what advice are you giving people?
So right now, I'm not really affected with my teaching my students because I teach from home. So Rona isn't really affecting it. But with my vending business, all of my places are closed down except for two, a nursing home and a warehouse, because they're considered essential. And I'm very thankful for that, but my money has been cut with that. However, I do have the idea to do cold calling to nursing homes, asking them, hey, do you have a machine? If not, I know it's hard for your workers to go out whenever they want to grab food. They're nurses. Like they're going to need something quick to get, and they can't just leave to go get it. So I want to use that type of call to see if I can place a machine while I'm at home, and also film it for YouTube, because my YouTube makes income off of my vending business. People want to learn how to get locations. People want to see how much I'm making, how much it costs. And even if I don't get those locations from the cold calls, then I feel in my spirit that right now it's a great time to save up. My machines cost so much money. So the 3 months that I have sitting at home, because I can work from home tutoring kids, I'm making so much more money now that I can save it. And once this is all over, I have so much money to just throw at my locations. And also, I had 2 locations lined up for the beginning of March to place 2 big machines. I was so excited. They were very big warehouses, and one was a mall. But because of this, everything shut down and I haven't been able to place those 2 machines. But I'm not in despair about it because I know everything's going to be okay. I tell myself everything's going to be okay, and just save up. If you don't have anything where you're making money and you have no ideas, take this time to save up your emergency fund. Take this time to catch up on your bills if you are still working from home or if you're an essential worker. Try to teach yourself financial literacy, because you're going to need that when you come out of this to prepare for your business or prepare for your next step in life. There's something you can learn while we are stuck in the house. So don't use it as an excuse that you can't go outside, because Google was made for this.
Yeah.
Definitely. And Kate, what advice do you have? How is business going during quarantine for you?
Business has not changed much in regards to my tutoring, because like Jasmine was saying, I do tutor online, so not much has changed at all here. I mean, even with my husband, because he works from home as well, so nothing at all has really changed here, other than the fact that I cannot take my daughter to do things with her outside, so that's very frustrating. But other than that, my businesses are pretty much run from home. Other than, like Nigel was touching on, us working together, we just started working together doing readings at a place, and that kind of shut down a little bit because the business is not working. So other than that, nothing has really changed. That's the wonderful thing of being able to work from wherever you want.
Yeah, definitely. And that's like, I think the reason why I posed this question to all of you guys is because I wanted to show the ladies at home, you can take your income into your own hands. Even if you were teaching online, coaching online, doing tarot readings online, right now we have the opportunity to put our businesses online and make a killing. So, find a way to monetize what you do and put it online, because if this were to happen again, you won't be out of business. You'll still be kicking, still be making money, won't have to rely on the government to support you. You're still doing your thing. So here are my last 2 questions for you ladies. I'm going to ask this one first. Actually, okay, I'm going to ask this one first. What advice would you give yourself or someone else who's interested in becoming an entrepreneur or self-employed? So what advice do you guys have for the ladies who are considering taking that leap into entrepreneurship?
Okay, so one thing I would say is don't look to your friends to support your business when you launch it, okay? The reason why I am saying this is not because I don't think you have good friends or anything like that. I'm telling you this from experience. Now, I am going to say this. I have some really supportive friends. I really, really do, especially my friends from high school. I know a lot of people don't even talk to the people that they, went to high school with, but for me, a lot of the people that I went to high school with really ride for me. They're really there for me. So I would just say, when you launch your business, don't go on Facebook and just antagonize everyone like, hey, I got this business. Are you going to help me? Are you going to help me? Like, when are you going to buy from me? I would tell you guys not to do that. What I would say is that start a brand new page of people who do not know nothing about you, and just start adding random people to that page, just random people, because you really need to pay attention to how much you go on Etsy or how much you go on these random places, and you're like, oh, I want that brooch or I want that shirt, and you don't know who they are, and you'll just buy from them, okay? Because you don't have any direct connection with them. They're selling something and you want that particular product. So my number one thing that I always tell people is just literally make a new page, open yourself up, and then start investing in complete strangers. They don't know nothing about you, and they think you are an expert in what you're doing. The second thing that I would say is make sure you can use your throat chakra. You have to advocate for yourself, okay? So you need to have a story. Everybody has a story. We want to know your story, So when you're making a brand or you're branding yourself, tell people who you are. Make sure that you're charismatic. Make sure you're personable, because they will connect to you. Being a mom, being a single mom, being a mom, married, being a wife, who cares what you are? Being single, gorgeous, and beautiful. Both of y'all single, gorgeous, and beautiful, in a relationship and beautiful. All of these platforms, you can connect with other women or other people who want to be entrepreneurs. So tell your story. Make sure you know your story. I guess the third thing that I would just say is don't stop yourself just because you don't know where you're going. No entrepreneur that I know knows where the hell they're going. I don't know where I'm going. I have no clue. I just know I'm going. I know that I'm not going to stop. What were you going to say, Kate?
You're on mute.
Oh,
I know I'm on mute. Sorry, because I have my daughter in the background, so I don't want anything else. But I'm just agreeing with you. I'm like, right. That's
okay. Don't stop for anything. Like, even though the coronavirus is going on, if you follow me on Couture-Luv anything, I am just posting like ain't nothing going on, okay? Because the news is on there giving you all this information. So why not I just jump in and give you some information and say, hey, I'm here, you can buy something. Hey, I'm here, you can order something. So use all your platforms, and no matter what's going on in the world, it's a stage, and make sure that you're giving everybody your best performance.
Nice. All right. And what is your advice for everyone, Jazz?
My advice is find what you're good at and monetize it. Like, people are always like, I don't know what business I want to make. I don't know how to invest. I don't, like, what would I do? What do you like to do? And find a way to monetize it. You can monetize anything. There are women who monetize them just putting makeup on their face through a video. There are people who monetize them just sitting down talking to someone, to themselves, to a camera. There is always a way to monetize it. And if you don't know, and I don't want to hear I'm not good at anything, if anything, go on YouTube and type in passive income streams, how to make passive income, ways to make passive income. Search it, find something you like, and then dibble dab in it. What do you have to lose? What do you really have to lose? Maybe a little bit of time. You were already just binging Netflix on your couch anyway. So fail.
They got to Netflix stock.
It's okay to fail. Some things you can do while you're sitting on the couch watching Netflix. There are people who give movie reviews on YouTube. So they're literally watching TV and then saying their thoughts on it on YouTube. What do you like to do, and try to monetize it? And if that doesn't work, go on YouTube, find other streams of income that people talk about, and try that. You try until you fail. And then you try again.
Love it. That was so good. All right, Kate, what's your advice for people who want to be entrepreneurs?
I would definitely say, I'm just thinking of the ideal person, a woman who, works 9 to 5 always, and she's ready now to move from doing this, or she's ready to venture out into entrepreneurial ways of working. I would just say, just like these ladies definitely said already, find something that you love and monetize it. And my advice is that keep going, because it's not going to always be champagne and popping bottles and islands and all of that. It's going to be hard work, just like how you wake up at the 9 to 5, but the difference with this is that now you have a passion for what you're doing, and hold on to that. That's the advice strongly, is hold on to the passion from the first sale, right?
Yeah.
I love that. And I'm going to piggyback off of what all of these ladies said. If you love what you're doing, it's not going to feel like a regular 9 to 5. Like, yes, there is work involved in creating your own business and working for yourself, being self-employed. But like they said, if you love what you do, being a model, being, doing your makeup, teaching children, if you love what you do, tarot reading even, if you love what you do, it's never going to feel like work. It might get stressful at times because business is just stressful. Having to deal with other people, sometimes it's just stressful, but it's like your worst day at your 9 to 5 versus your worst day working for yourself. Which would you choose? I choose my worst day working for myself, because I'm my own boss and I'm not going to kick my butt as hard as this world would.
It's like that saying, what do people say? Where would you rather cry, in a Honda or a Bentley or a Mercedes, right?
Like where do you want to cry?
Which one do you want?
I love that. All right, ladies. Well, here's my last question for you. I'm going to let you go. Actually, okay, I'm not going to ask this one anymore, but I just want to ask you guys, what do you do to stay motivated? Working for yourself, or even like, how do you stay motivated in a time where maybe people don't believe you, don't see the vision yet? All you have is your dream and what you want to do, but you haven't physically started, or maybe you have physically started and it's getting really tough. What would you say to motivate people, to keep them inspired? Is it worth it, going for that dream? So yeah, last question. What do you guys think?
Okay, for me, motivation is not every day. It's not every day I want to get up and post for Couture-Luv, make flyers for Blending Cultures, make a flying for photography. I'm not like that. I'm kind of more so and I've had a lot of conversations with Naja about this. I go with how I feel. If I feel, if it's 12 o'clock at night and I'm up, binge watching little flyers, and I can get on my phone right quick just doing a flyer, I'm gonna do 20 or 40 of them because I'm in the flyer mode. Anytime I'm in that particular mode, I just use advantage of it. And then I might have flyers for the next 2 weeks or the next 3 weeks because I put that energy in it. Now, if I wake up and I don't feel like doing nothing, I value that. I don't do nothing. I go hard. I'll go get some movies lined up. I get whatever I want. If it's a smoothie, Nigel knows I have a little problem with hot wings and french fries. So if that's where I'm at, where I just need to just chill at home, I respect that energy. I don't never be like, no, I need that dollar today. I gotta just, no, I don't do that. I respect all of it, because when you work at a job, you hate it because even the days where you want to go hard for them, they don't respect you. And then the days where you're slow and you just want to be like, hey, I'm sick today, can you just give me a little break? They treat you like a dog, and they're like, no, you can't have a break, or no, you can't go to the doctor. So I feel like when you work for yourself, pay attention to your self-therapy. Pay attention to that. If you're burnt out and you went super hard for 3 days in a row, take 2 days off. You need to be in your right mind, and your right mind does allow you to rest. It does allow you to take a break, and being a mother, Nigel knows on a Wednesday, if Ty is going to her dad, you cannot call me, you can't get me. I am asleep for 9 to 12 hours out of that day. My phone is off, and you need to respect that. If you cannot deal, turn your phone off. Just because the phone rings doesn't mean you have to answer it. You know what I mean? So respect your body, respect your peace. I think becoming a mom, I really understand what that means. On that first Wednesday, it is dedicated to me, and I just don't care. I have to go to sleep. I am tired, okay? And that's the biggest thing. Respect your space, respect your mental health. And I think that's the greatest part about being an entrepreneur. Hey, I don't want to do it. Leave me the hell alone. And you need to respect that. Going hard is fantastic, but if you go so hard that you don't have anything left, you done defeated yourself.
I like that.
So true. All right, Jazz, what do you think? What advice do you have?
Because I don't have a problem with motivation, I can't really speak on telling someone, because you can't motivate someone. They have to want to. And if you do motivate someone, it's because they had a small little inkling on the inside where they wanted to be fired up. So I always tell people, I can't do it for you. I can't give you my charisma. I can't throw you my energy to make you want to get up off of that couch to do something. So I like how you said respect your energy, because if you have nothing for today, it's okay. Settle on it, immerse yourself in it. Maybe talk to yourself, why don't I feel this way, and how can I make it up the next day? Write down your thoughts and write down other ideas. If that's all you can muster up, that's fine. But the next day, what's your energy today? Oh, I want to make flyers today, but I need to go make $1. Make the flyers, because if the flyers are going to lead to money, then that's going to push you into something that is actually organic. It's not all right, can I place this machine here, please? Please, can I please place this machine here? No, you are excited about that flyer that you just made. Like, look, like my machine looks just like this. Do you want the blue one? I can paint it orange for you. Like, you have something of value. You are organic with what you are telling people. So I cannot tell someone, be motivated, and then they're going to be motivated. That's not how you talk to someone with depression or anxiety, or someone who just doesn't believe in themselves. They have to find that spark. And if what you can muster up that day is to sleep it off, come back the next day a little bit harder, then do that. But make sure that you're respecting your energy, and you're not ignoring your energy. Because if you're having energy that says, I need to work right now, but I want to go do something else, don't ignore your energy. You are here to make money, but it's okay to slow down sometimes.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that, honoring the cycles within you. I feel like we don't do that enough as people, but more so as women, and even more so with entrepreneurial women, who want to work on their own and everything. Honoring the cycles, that's amazing. motivation, you know, it was something that Jasmine was touching on too that made me think about creation. You know, when you have that void feeling or that lack feeling, you don't feel like you have anything to motivate you, sleeping, but also like creating, moving that energy, transmuting that energy, right? So whether that's doing a painting or going out and doing something fun that you enjoy. Usually when I put everything down and I'm like, okay, you know what, I'm going to go outside with my family. We're going to walk around, we're going to run, we're going to play, we're going to do something. When you come back, you're in a new mindset and you kind of transmuted that lack feeling, and it can now be transmuted to energy. You have, you know, going to the gym, you know, when people go to the gym afterwards, they're usually like, you know what, got this great idea, blah, blah, blah. So find what makes you motivated, while also honoring your cycles, like you guys were saying.
Yeah. What do you do that clears your mind? Go do it, because then you'll come back a new person.
Yeah.
Right.
And I would say too, if you run into something that is really hard, go on vacation. You know that Kate kept talking about that vacation, go on vacation. Vacation doesn't have to mean that you have to go somewhere. It could be anything. Go to the park. Just like she said, whatever you really love doing with less effort, like coloring with Ty is something we both do. I have an adult coloring book. She has a coloring book. I get my markers, and I'm very meticulous about the markers. I stay within the line, but it brings me some form of peace. You get what I'm saying? Those wings, that's my peace. Like I'm supposed to be vegan. I've been trying, you know, but the point is, this is going to give me that comfort. If Netflix and chilling with yourself is that comfort, go to that, because creating is all about an energy or emotion or a feeling. It comes with an idea, and you got to be in motion in that feeling to pursue that idea. If you're not even in there, then you're forcing it. You know, just like Jazz was saying, you don't want to force anything, because when you force something, that energy transmutes to be something negative, and you just run into a whole bunch of blocks. And it's not. When you see people and they're like, well, why are they so successful, or why are they happy, or why are they this? They're just happy because that's the flow of frequency that they're in. You get what I'm saying? So I agree with everybody. I agree with everybody.
I love that you guys touch on that, because that's a huge misconception in our society, that you have to work, that you have to grind, that you have to, you know, all of these harsh, hard words about what it takes to be successful. And it's like, well, if you're in flow, you know, the downloads are coming naturally, you know, you're in flow, and then you want to do your photo shoots, and then you're in flow and you want to work with your clients, and you want to post your Instagram, you know, like there's something to when people are in flow versus when people are going against the grain and making things harder from themselves. When you're in flow, you're naturally attracting amazing opportunities to yourself. So if you're somebody who's like, I'm going to beat myself down until I get this right, like, no, you might not get there. You're going to beat yourself real bad, and you're still not going to get there, you know? So being in flow is so extremely important in this society. And also when you start to think about what you want to do to generate money, think about, like Ashley was saying, what do I naturally do that I love? What do I naturally go to? What makes me excited? What can I do for days without, you know, exhausting or depleting my energy? That's what you want to go for, because that is something that will sustain you and that you can do for years and years and years to come, and grow it and make it grand and beautiful. It's not some get rich quick thing that you start for a month. You're like, okay, I try that, I'm over that. You're like, if you really love it, there's no problem with sticking to it forever. So yeah. Well, I want to thank all you ladies for hanging out with me today. Does anybody have any last minute words before I let you all go? I'm going to leave everyone's links and everything in the bio, so they will be able to find you. But last minute words, anybody can go?
I would say do what you love. Don't force it. Take your time, pace yourself. Every day you're not going to get sales, sometimes not even weeks at a time. Everything is not peachy and cream, but it's better to invest in yourself, because you can always bet on yourself to be a winner. I would say that anything that you really want, you got to focus on it and put energy into it. So, you know, make a to-do list, get up, make a to-do list, set goals, say that you want to do this by a particular date. Don't leave everything always open-ended, because it would never get accomplished. Don't overdo it. Only do 3 tasks a day. Don't try to think you need to work an 8-hour day, because you've been programmed to work 8-hour days your whole life. My work days are not even like that. If I have a day that has a shoot, I do that shoot. If I have the energy to edit those pictures that night, I will. But if I don't, that's it. 4 hours. That's all you're going to get. I'm Netflix and chilling. So just don't stress yourself out. especially if you have multiple hats. Like, I'm a mom. If it's done, it's done. If that's all the time you have, don't beat yourself up about it. Just be glad that you deposited some form of energy in it. Any amount of energy is good. Even if it's one flyer a day or you made something a day, that's enough. All it is don't quit. Just don't quit. That's all you have to do. Just don't quit.
I would say to add, don't listen to the naysayers. And if you think you're easily persuaded into, okay, maybe that's not a good idea, then don't talk about it.
Nope.
Just talk to yourself, Google it, YouTube it, and YouTube it until you feel confident enough to do it. But if you are easily persuaded by negativity and people saying, no, oh, I don't know if that's a good idea, that doesn't sound very smart, then just don't talk about it until you've made your final decision and you know you can't be persuaded out of it.
I agree.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out. I will leave their links below, like I said. And that is that. Thank you so much, Ashley, Jasmine, Kate, for hanging out with me. You guys can check them out below. Check out their businesses. And yeah, bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.